Welcome back, fellow job seekers. I have some really interesting updates that I need to provide to you. I want to say my extensive interviews and a couple other things that I've been going through and sitting through interviews, meeting with different organizations, meeting with different CISOs, I was able to land a new job. Now, I've also said in the past that, just because you're sitting through interviews doesn't necessarily mean you have to leave. You can just get a feeler, see what's out there. And if the price, the benefits, and everything else that you combine together is right for you, then of course make that jump. Now, I want to announce that my last day of working physically was yesterday, which was Friday. And the reason for my, you know, very aggressive looking for jobs, sitting through interviews, and seeing what's out in the market has really enlightened me because the salary, although has come down a little bit from all-time highs, depending on the position, they are still out there. Now, I can't say the same for the beginner or junior analyst positions. Now, I'm probably, as you would categorize me, I have 10 years or plus years in cybersecurity, in that department. One thing that I want to announce is that I've also passed the CISSP because I was given an incentive. And here is the incentive. The incentive was that if I passed, and this was with the new employer, if I passed, that I would get a $3,000 bonus. I was ecstatic. I was like, that's amazing. So why wouldn't I want to pass? Now, of course, it's easier said than done. This on the right is the resources that I've used, and I did use all of them. On top of all this, I've also watched countless hours of YouTube videos and actually probably some videos on LinkedIn as well. And it, I think it got to the point where it really synced in. Okay. Now, the other thing is when I took the exam, I swore like there was no questions on there that resembled anything I studied from any of these materials, which was like, it blew my mind. On the left is the results page. Now you can actually see I'm actually still wearing my lucky hoodie that you see in the picture over there. Now, the thing is, when I received the results page, it was folded up. The proctor, well, not the proctor, the receptionist that's in charge of the printouts congratulated me. But I was a little confused. Maybe she just congratulated everyone because it wasn't like a happy congratulation. She was like, "Oh, good luck in your future endeavors and congratulations." I'm like, "Huh? What?" So even before looking at it, I started crumbling it up because I had a strong feeling that I had failed this damn exam. And to my surprise, after opening up the folded page, it said congratulations on the first sentence. And I was just blown away. I was happy. It was very ecstatic. Now, with the resources I have, if you guys are interested, these are the newer versions of it. If you want to, reach out to me, email me if you want a copy of one of these hard copies. I've also even had the Cybex one on my Audible, and I was listening to it continuously. So, going back to the job search, there was a few things that led up to my departure of my old organization. Now, and the one thing I want to say is that never, ever, if you have an opportunity, you have your own mind to stick around in an environment where it's toxic because it's not good for your health. It's not good for any aspect of it, meaning not just your health, your family, because your frustration eventually comes home with you. uh, I try to minimize that as much as I can, but sometimes, unfortunately, that became a topic of discussion with my significant other. And that's not one thing you want to talk about. It's not interesting. There's no, there's no reason for that to even come back, and everyone just becomes in a different mood. So, I was very ecstatic, but I do want to mention, not only when I accepted the new offer, I was presented with another offer, and it was full remote, and the new job is full remote as well. But I'll eventually travel, and I'll go into a little more details of where I work, what I do, and how I'm going to be doing it going forward. But in this video, I just want to make sure that I come across as transparent as possible, telling you guys that I did land a new job, and the industry that I'm actually going to be focused on. And of course, I'll go into more details later. The industry is casinos, land-based casinos, online gaming. Huge, huge market. All right. Not just because of the MGM hack that happened recently, but that actually opened up a lot of people's minds like, oh, this is real, right? Casinos are even being targeted. The millions and billions of dollars that they have per casino is a huge target for financial gains with any kind of hackers. So with that being said, big industry. Going back to my departure at the old job, I left because I felt like there was a lot of unfair treatment. There wasn't a lot of recognition. The supervisor there, I didn't feel like they were capable of managing people, or even attempted to manage people. More like dictatorship than anything else. So that was my main reason for departing where I was. And of course, I made a lot of videos about sitting through interviews and going through the motions. Fast forward to more recently, within this week, I was presented with another offer. But unfortunately, because of my conscience and because of respect and honor and all that great stuff, I turned it down gracefully, even though it was a little bit more money. All right. And if you guys are curious at how much money, it was at 170,000 plus, actually. And I, even though both jobs were full remote, I sat through with the new CISO at the CISO of the company that gave me another offer after I accepted the new one. And I explained myself because it went on too long. I sat through an interview with him some time back, 2 months ago, I believe. And fast forward in between that 2 months, I was aggressively still sitting through interviews and going through multiple interviews with one of the companies and other companies, right? And in between that time, I had already accepted a new offer. But unfortunately, the first company that I really wanted to join, 2 months I had interview with the CISO, and then I got some really mixed messages. They said that, they had moved on from being a candidate, and then from that to, hey, are you still interested? Because it seemed like I was like a second runner up or a third runner up, and whoever they had in mind first turned down the offer, and then just going down the list, right? And opposed to just interviewing more and more people to see who would be a fit. And I went through it. I sat through the second interview 2 months later, and I explained myself. I said, hey, I'm grateful that you guys are reconsidering me, but I already took an offer. But I do have someone that may be able to fit this position, and someone that I know and more than capable of doing that. So I did that as a favor to a friend of mine. It's not like I'm just putting him out there, but he really does have this knowledge, and he has the criteria to do so. So, and I still have this picture showing. So let me just bring back. Yeah, so that's where I am right now. And of course, I will be making more videos on what's out there because I'm not going to stop looking. And it really intrigues me to see what's out there. And I'm talking to people who have probably just, or if not more, cybersecurity specialized talent than I do. that have been sitting in jobs for the last 2 to 3 years, base pay is a lot lower than what's being offered now, especially if you have certain criteria, like, for instance, the CISSP. Now, mind you, I just passed the CISSP, but my offers that were coming onto the table never stopped because I didn't have it. So that just goes to show that you can still get top dollars with or without these certifications. And CISSP, not everyone's fond of it, but there's a high ranking of certain HR, certain organizations that look at this and say, "Oh wow, this is, you guys, whoever have this certification is more than capable." Yes, that is true. But there's a lot of other organizations who really don't care for certifications. And you could find these companies because they're the ones who would look at your resume, and even though you don't have these certifications listed, they would still put you in consideration because based on your experience and what you put down as far as the organization where you work, the industry, and what you've actually done on a day-to-day, which makes a huge difference. Okay, so that's why it's really important to make sure your resume sells you. And then when you're sitting, when you get chosen to be sitting in an interview, be as enthusiastic as you can, because I have been told many times over, not just from one organization, but multiple people, that every time I'm talking, either I'm smiling and I'm very enthusiastic talking about the things that I do day to day. Because if you don't enjoy it, they can tell that you're just doing it because you're there and you just want a paycheck. Now, most of you probably is true, but in short, you have to kind of show some enthusiasm. You have to show some type of enjoyment, because otherwise, then why are you doing this if you don't, right? So that's where we are today. And of course, I will be making more videos. I know we had a little gap, but the only reason why I had the gap was because I had this transition happening. And I didn't want to expose too much, because sometimes I could run my mouth and I talk about things that I shouldn't be talking about publicly. And right now, I feel like it's the right time. And of course, while we're going or moving forward, I would definitely start giving you guys more information to see the day-to-day of what I do and where I'm going to be doing it. And it will be really interesting because, like I said, this is a whole new sector that I've never been exposed to, which is the casinos. And I hope you guys will enjoy the content going forward. Please remember to hit that like, comment, subscribe. It really keeps me motivated and to make videos like this. All right. I want to thank you again, and I'll see you really, really soon. Bye.